everybody, my name is David. I'm gonna do a little tutorial for you guys. Start with importing the obstacle course project that will be used, and then I'm going to retexture some of the objects in it. So the first thing to do in order to import the asset, you have to have downloaded it. There was a link shared in the Discord. Yes, okay, so on the announcements tab of the Discord, you'll probably have to scroll up to September 29th. Yes, visit the site. Link on it. It'll pull up. This is the assets pack that we need to get. Oh, here, let me sign in real quick. Alright, it's got me signed in. I already have the asset pack. Normally, as you saw, it would say add to my assets, which you could do. And it'll do that, and you can click open in Unity, in which case it will pull up this package manager right to the file. Another way to do it, if you're not on that site and you've already downloaded it, you just go to your Windows package manager. It'll pull up package manager. That was the last thing that was selected, so it's automatically going to be on the list of things. You may have to, right here in this corner, it'll probably be defaulted to either Unity Registry or in project. You'll just want to go up here, click on My Assets. It'll come up with a list. I have a lot of them already, so I'm not going to sit here and scroll through them all. But you want the obstacle course pack. You want to, I've already downloaded it too, so normally you would have to click download. I'll just go ahead and re-download. Shouldn't take too long. Takes a few seconds. And then once it's downloaded, you want to import. It'll pull up this. You want to make sure everything is selected. Should be by default. You can always click all and then import. It's gonna import all the lovely projects. Do you want to, yeah, go ahead and reload. Change to the scene because it built it in for me. Alright, so once it's loaded in, comes with a little character player and these default little assets. Should be able to click play. Comes with a camera. You can move it around. The different things do different things. You'll see how they interact. We will be customizing stuff over the course of the class to make your own game out of it. This one's a little tilty wobble. Some of these are bouncy surfaces that will send you flying. It's a fun little obstacle course. Very simple to use. Alright. Get out of test mode. So that is how you load the asset program. You'll be making a whole little obstacle course out of this. Everyone should be a little different, so that'll be fun. But let's say instead of just these base colors, we want something else. Like we want this blue, instead of it to be just the floor, we want it to be like stonework or something. Just something to be fun. To do that, we will have to, first find an image of a texture. I have a website that I normally use. Let me pull it up here. Go to my new tab. I have it bookmarked. It's sketchuptextureclub.com. Hashtag not sponsored. But they let you get free assets, or free images to use as textures and stuff. They have all kinds of other stuff too, but I just go to use them for textures. So like I said, we wanted to do like a stone floor. It could be bricks, buildings, concrete. We'll go stone walls. What kind of walls do they got? Okay, so look through these stone wall materials. Something that could possibly work as a floor too. I kind of like this one. This is high def version. All right, come over here. The free user version. You can go ahead and download that. So it's free. It'll pop up in your downloads. Go ahead and open it. It does come as a zipped file, so you want to go ahead and extract it to a folder you will remember. I had already set one up for my tutorial folder. We'll go ahead and extract that. It's got a couple other things in here, but Stonewall is the one we're going to name, so we will rename this to Stonewall. So that way it'll be easier to find instead of the weird file names that they have from the program. Go ahead and keep this folder open for now. We're going to go back into Unity. In my assets folder, you will see I have created a couple of folders, one being images, the other materials. To create a folder, I'll go ahead and just delete one of these. I'll show you how to create a folder real quick. You just right click, go to create folder, name it materials. Materials. Boom. Alright, we're going to want to go into our images folder. I already have one in that I will show you what I'm going to use for later. But we pull up the thing, our folder where we downloaded our picture from. We're going to go ahead and drag the stone wall. Just drag and drop it right into there. We now have the stone wall image. Now, it's not as simple as just dragging the image onto the texture. I mean, I guess it could work, but it's not really how we're doing things here. So, we then go into our assets folder, materials, because we want to keep everything organized. You don't want to get your materials mixed up with your images, mixed up with your models, mixed up with everything. You want to keep your assets folders organized and everything. So, in materials, we go up to create again, and just go ahead and click material. We'll call this stone floor material. Now, in order to keep this material, all right, a couple things. If you don't want to do the fancy textures, you can just create materials this same way. Come over to this white bar here, and you can just adjust colors any way you want, however you want. You know, moving all these things. If you know hex codes for whatever, we're keeping it white because we are going to add a picture into this albedo tab. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can click on this tiny little dot right next to albedo, and it'll pull up all the images that are saved into your file, your program, your assets folder basically. That's one way to do it. So you click on that, click Stonewall. Boom, we now have Stonewall added to this texture. Or, as long as you keep the inspector, you might want to lock it for a second, so that way when you click onto this other stuff, why is there a materials folder within? I don't know what created that. Get rid of that. The stone wall, you can then drag it up onto the albedo. Make sure after you're done, you unlock the inspector, so that way then when you click on anything, just when you lock the inspector, all it does is prevents you from, when you click on something, it's still showing the information for the thing you had locked. So like right now you see that it says material blue, which is what they have. We're going to take our stone floor, drag it and drop it. Now that looks like a really big chunk of stone floor. what we want to do to make it look more to scale, I guess you would say, is in this material. So we need to pull up the material in the inspector. You want to go into tiling. Let's try changing it from 1 by 1 to 5 by 5. There. Now it's just basically repeating the same square image 5 times in the x-axis and the y-axis. So this way and then that way. You know, left to right, north to south. Now they all have, this is another floor section up here. Let's go ahead and add the stone floor to that too. That way it keeps things copacetic. Alright, so that's how you add a texture. And you can texture anything you want that same way, like pendulum here. It just right now looks like a big yellow Nerf ball that swings and hits the characters. Let's make it look like something that would actually knock you around, like a big metal ball or something. So I'm going to create another material. Right click in the project area, go up to create material. I'm going to call this one pendulum. And since I already had that other image I told you about, this hammered silver, I'm going to go ahead and plug that into the albedo section on my inspector. Go back to the materials folder, come, swing, put it in on there. Now they look kind of shiny. They're not actually reflective. That is a deception of the thing. There is ways to do that, but we're not going to go over that in this basic tutorial. We can keep these nice uniformed things. So now they look like big metal, almost like wadded up tinfoil actually, which kind of could be funny too. Alright, sorry my mic cut out, so I have to go back and fix the ending here. We got the stone floor materials, we got the giant tinfoil pendulum balls, and like, you could pretty much use any kind of image that you want. I'm going to add a custom image of my own into this here thing. Where is it? Alright, pics. I'm going to add my little logo that we saw at the beginning of the screen. So in images, I'm going to drag and drop my logo image. I'm going to go to material, create material, call it logo, back to the images, click and drag it up to the albedo. And we take material, logo, boom. It's now upside down. Well, that's because this piece was placed funny. What happens if I rotate it? So yeah, let's rotate it on the Y, 180 degrees. Boom. And now I've got my little logo there on one of the pieces. Let's give it a play. And this should be the end of the tutorial. We've got everything working. We got our new materials in place. Get the logo seesaw, Snake 8045. And yeah, that's it. That's how you import a project asset and how you create some custom materials that you can then paste on things. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, you can always contact me on the Discord. I'm always here, usually always available to answer questions. Alright, thanks for watching everybody. See you next time.